Forrit, the next generation Microsoft Azure content management system that allows businesses to easily scale yet stay secure without limiting productivity. Sounds impossible, but let me talk to you today about how Forrit enables the entire global team to work in a single project while being able to create content in languages that your customers are requesting and then publish those changes instantly. So let's talk about projects within Forrit. A project is a digital experience. That could be a website, a kiosk app, point of sale system, basically any form of digital experience that requires the management of content. You need to be able to manage that content and therefore change and adapt it. And that's where tasks help us manage the change. A task can be anything, a simple text change, an entire new website section, translation of content, updating assets, changing the design. The task can be subject to permissions too. So not just anyone can be added in those awful animated GIFs accidentally to the homepage carousel. So what does a task within a project in Forrit look like? Let me show you. Here we have our main website, but we also have a headless experience and an upcoming rebrand. Today we want to focus on creating a new piece of content for our existing websites. Let's click through on that. We're then taken to the dashboard where we see all the tasks within the project. As mentioned before, a task can be any change you need to execute within that digital experience. So let's pick a task which has been assigned to me. I get taken to the Pages UI where I see the website tree. Here I can create a new piece of content, fill out the information that I need to, and you get your basic website canvas. Here on the Layout tab, we can start building our page by dragging and dropping components we need. I'm going to add the header component to begin with and then start and create some content as we go into that component. So here you can see there is no content or styling just yet. So let's double click on that and we can then start to create the content needed to go in here. Once I've finished with that content, you can come back and you can see how it looks. Now it doesn't look great at the moment, and that's because there's no styling, but let's change that. We can go and add a component which I know has embedded styling within it and save that page. And then when I come back to the content, you'll see that the look and feel of this page has now totally changed. It's really that simple. Now you've seen a demonstration of how we manage content within Forrit. Let's look at the benefits of that. Working side by side concurrently with other team members means we are breaking down silos between teams. Tasks are merged in at the completion of a task. You then see that within your own task, allowing you to visually approve that your ongoing changes will work alongside some other team members' changes before you publish to a test environment. This all results in a huge potential for reduction in time spent during content editing and designing. Localization should be seen as a key piece of functionality for your CMS. It's not just about cultural awareness, but also about ensuring regulatory compliance. Localization is the ability to translate content into country-specific locales like EN-US and EN-GB when thinking about words like colour. At Forrit, many of our customers state things like shown on the screen. This all bundles down into a single statement, which is that they can't process and create translated content fast enough to keep up with their global growth rate as a business. Forrit has done extensive research into why businesses are struggling with translation as part of a larger research white paper that is now released. Some key data points I just want to call out here are 25% of survey respondents do not localize content purely because it is not supported by their CMS. 49% of respondents don't bother localizing materials because it takes more than 2 hours to release content into the market. And only 9% are able to update in real time. In fact, Liz McGee, Director of Microsoft Education, said to us when we started talking with them that the very global nature of their business means that their websites need to be understood by millions of people around the world. She couldn't solve this with their previous CMS. Delays have the potential to cause compliance and regulatory issues if materials and content aren't updated when they need to be. 38% of marketing leaders explicitly named regulatory compliance as the reason they don't localize or translate content today. Wow. So let me show you how we solve that in Forrit. So you will see I've added a new component and some content to our new page that we created earlier. I've also set the language fallback to EN-GB because we have content already created in that locale. And I have identified that we also have a lot more traffic coming to our site now from a recent Czech Republic advertisement we published. To be compliant and personable, we need to translate our content into that locale. We can either translate the entire page or pieces of the page from the translation tab at the top here. For the purpose of the demo, I'm only going to translate the call to action component here. And upon clicking Save Page, will be created a translation job. We can then see that from the translation window, whereby I can come in here and I can start to review what we want to translate and how. So you can see here, I pick the locale that I want to translate from and the locale that I want to translate to. I can click confirm and it will still be in that draft flow, but we've just updated it. Now it's ready for marking as ready to be translated. So if I click that button, what will happen is we'll push that off to the translation service. In this particular case, we have an integration with the Azure Cognitive Services for Translation, which uses a predefined machine learning model that you don't have to train. And as you can see, now it has been sent to the translation service and it's finished before I could finish my sentence. So now if we go back to that particular page, we will be able to go to the content and we'll be able to go and then view that into the translated content that we asked for to check that it is populated the page correctly. Some benefits to the process I've just shown can be seen on screen, but what Forrit is able to achieve is really saving time translating content, improving brand guidelines in other languages and locales, and making your business more meaningful for its visitors. Liz McGee said at the end of our transformation project with the education team that Forrit's solution is so quick we can expand to additional markets practically on demand. In fact, Microsoft Education are so impressed with this project that they asked us to engage and run the Reimagine event just gone, which again was a massive success, supporting visitors from 119 countries, an improvement of 55% on international traffic from last year, and it also produced an improvement of 186% in sales engagement. Wow. Publishing. It's the release of content or layout to the end user experience. Sounds simple, but the image on screen abstracts that there are lots of moving parts. Creating content, creating new components or entirely new digital experiences altogether, making sure it's on brand. It's got to be compliant with in-market requirements, reviewing it with the sales team that the information isn't being released too early or leaked, and finally getting that approval for publishing from multiple very busy stakeholders, all for it just to be reviewed again on the staging environment. All this can result in a very long, time-consuming process. So let me show you how we solve that in Forrit. Now, this new campaign landing page we created earlier needs to go to staging as soon as possible for review by the wider organization. To do that as a one-off, we need to create a new release. If you don't want to publish just yet and want the new content to go out with the range of other approved content that other editors and designers are creating and approving, then you can mark the task as complete, and at a later date, all of that approved content can be published out when somebody comes to publish. But in this particular case, we just want to pick the individual task that I've been working on. So I pick the new content piece of task that is applied to me. It goes away and it starts to create a release. I can then come in and pick where I want to publish it to, which staging environments. We might have multiple. I can then go and click publish. And what will happen now is the platform will publish all this content out to those staging environments, so that if I was to load one of those up, we can now see that that campaign is actually live on our site on staging right now for the rest of the team to approve. So let me talk to you about some of the benefits that brings. What we're able to achieve is really a simple publication of the content and design in a few clicks, saving time and removing the intensive manual process that many of our customers talk to us about today. And we can also keep it all secure and accountable to the correct teams and people through adding in processes like workflows and only locking down certain areas of the site using permissions for certain content editors or designers to be able to change. So let me recap on what you've heard. Work as a team, same project, same time. This really helps scale the speed of go-to-market around creating new content and components and experiences for your end users. Talk your customer's language. We often hear how personalization is everything. Our white paper shows 25% of respondents use a CMS which can't even personalize on language yet. We need to master walking before running. Translation into your customer's language is the walking of personalization. Translation is easy, for it allows you to translate what you want, when, for markets that require it, allowing your team to be flexible. Secure, simple publishing. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. For it gives users that intuitive, simple process to keep content secure with workflows, yet publish it anywhere at any time you want to. Scalability with simplicity. Security with flexibility. The next generation Microsoft Azure content management system that allows businesses to easily scale, yet stay secure without limiting productivity. Thank you for your time.